Kia ora, New Zealand. Welcome to Sweet Chain Live. My name's Matt Drake. This is episode 151, and I welcome back this week my guest, my host, my more permanent host, Morgan Hartfeld. Good evening, Morgan.
Hey, Matty. How you going, bro?
Yeah, I'm very good, thanks. How are you? Week off last week?
I'm good, man. I've had a really good week. Fantastic last weekend. I apologise that I stepped out for a week, just so much on the go. I missed episode 150, but at least I had the perfect replacement in young Tommy Strawbridge. How did he go?
He did. I thought he did fantastic. I mean, I hope chat thought so as well. I thought he was very good. And he launched his own initiative last week, which was the hide and seek of the starter packs, which is fantastic. And I think I saw someone won it maybe the day after we went live. It was brilliant. Very, very good. Very, very good.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tommy, for stepping in at late notice. And yeah, again, apologies, team. I'm sure you missed me, but busy times.
What have you been doing then this week, other than having ice baths? I see.
Oh, just working like a horse this week, man. It's been a heavy one coming back from the weekend and just getting straight into it. But just ice baths. Ice baths is the name of the game this week. My lovely wife bought me an ice bath for Christmas. It showed up on the Friday when we were in Roxburgh. Mm-hmm. So of course, the first thing I did when I got back was get into it.
So what's the idea with that then? What does it do apart from cool?
Oh man, it's supposed to have some sort of health benefits. You know what I mean? I don't know all the sciences behind it, but heat shock, cold shock proteins. I'd like to get a sauna to go alongside it. And
okay,
I'm trying to be a wee bit healthier this year. I don't do New Year's resolutions or anything like that, but the goal is always to try and be a wee bit healthier. So that's just step one, and we'll get back in the gym and see how we go.
Oh, good for you. Well, good for you. Excellent. Do you play any golf other than obviously Roxburgh?
Yeah. I took bragging rights over Adam this week. Love you, bro, but I beat you with your own bag, seeing as I didn't have my bag in the car. So. MVP. I went out there. I called Eagle McMahon going to MVP. I went out, played around with Adam using his bag of MVP and Axiom. Yeah, crushed it, and
good work.
That was good. So that's other big news breaking. Dun 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 dun.
Good work. Managed to get out for a round myself last night at Harcourt Park, and got very. It was the course was being generous yesterday. Shot 1 under, and it was 920 rated. So it was a good day for the ratings.
So you guys are back into your league?
Yeah, first week this week. I'm not running it this time. That's been passed on to the very capable hands of Ben Morrison and Dan Smith are running it, and they're doing a fantastic job. So, and the new tags for Greater Wellington have come out. I can't show you one because unfortunately my tag, they need to make more tags. They made like bulk, and they've had more people sign up. So they've had to make some more.
What number were you assigned right off the bat?
So it was 45.
Generous.
No. Well, you said that last year I finished. I finished with number 4. So there's every chance that could improve this year. We'll have to see. Anyway,
that's awesome that you've been assigned a number that high and you've got that many players playing though. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just now, right? That's just who wants a tag, right? We haven't. That's before people join throughout the year and whatever else. So yeah. Kudos to Greater Wellington Disc Golf for putting that together. They've got a fun event happening on later on this month, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. Right, we've got a fantastic show for you tonight. We've our guest tonight is Zoe AnDyke, and she's joined by Henry Pearson this evening from the Tour Down Under to talk about her upcoming trip to New Zealand. That's right, she's still in the States. It's incredibly late at night, so we're very, very grateful to have her. And we're going to be talking to her all about the Tour Down Under, what made her want to come all this way, and UPlay and everything else. Chat, if you've got any questions for Zoe, put them in the chat and we'll try and get to them. Then we're going to go through some results of Roxburgh, and also we're going to be doing our picks for the Southern Smash, which is coming up this weekend down in Invercargill. Morgan, you must be stoked for that one.
I tell you what, I'm super excited to get down there, just to get down and compete and not have to sort of worry too much around any of the background stuff. The guys down there are on top of everything. Hayden Shaw's flowing in this weekend to go and TD the event, so It's in capable hands.
Fantastic. Well, let's kick us off as ever with hot scores. Morgan takes through the South.
All right, let me jump over to that page and start off with down in Queen's Park. We've got Mr. John O'Brien. Good to see him out there shooting some hot scores, especially after seeing him at Roxburgh this weekend. He shoots at 8 down at Queen's Park, followed up by Tom McKay down in Chingford and Dunedin, not Invercargill, with a -7. Brockville, Chris McLean with a -4, and also Jens Moeller following it up with a -4 as well. Over here in the Queenstown Gardens, we've got the lurking Sam Lycan hanging out down in the south here, shooting a 12 under par. That's on the back of his win at Roxburgh this weekend. Tucker Beach, Mr. Akira Kura is shot at 2 over par to take the hot score of the week. Ely Point's Ben Quinn and Mundo McDisk taking it down with a 3 under. Lismore Park still in Wanaka here with Ben Quinn yet again, -10, and also joined by Connor. Congratulations on the hot scores this week, boys. Jason Ormandy of Christchurch at Jelly Park shoots a 12 under par. Ascot Park, we've got Latham with a 6 over par taking the hot score this week. The last in Queenstown in Christchurch at Queen's Park Reserve, we've got Michael Roberts with a 5 under par. And finishing us off in the north of the south, Old Red and Stephen Martin. I repeat, Old Red and Stephen Martin with a -4 at Taylor River. How are we looking in the north?
So starting off at Berhampore in the capital, you've got the General Jung Ha and Boom Boom Brett Carlisle, who both shoot 7 under par this week. So fantastic scores from them. Very well done. Over at Koi Koi, it's another tie. Brendan Swift and Ben Morrison can't decide who's the best with 5 under par. Carson Boone blew the whole field away yesterday with his hot score of 7 under par at the league. Joel Simpson and Ephraim Russell tie up at Linklater with an 11 under par, which is bizarre on a 9-hole course. It's an incredible score. Brian Rawlins hits 5 under par at Maryland's. Callum Petman and local Steve Lawson hit the hot score at Spa Park Black with a 3 under par. Matt G up at McLaren's hits 13 down. Have I got that right? Surely not. McLaren's, that's
huge.
I got that.
That's
right.
insane, unheard of.
And finally, up in Auckland, Jackson Sullivan hits 11 under par in Henderson. He's got a big couple of weeks coming up with the tour and skins matches and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, very well done to everybody who got a hot score this week. Lots of ties this week, actually, which was is a sign that there's lots of people playing and some hot scores being shot.
Yeah, man, everyone coming into that new year with a chip on their shoulder, ready to break some scores from last week, ready to show everyone what they've got. It's good to see.
And some great weather as well, meaning you can go out and play league evening rounds and perhaps a few more than you might otherwise have done. Anthony says, if we hit 300 subs, we definitely need a giveaway live from the ice bath. We're only 2 subs away from 300, which is the new. Which
Are
is
you guys going to make me get in the ice bath tonight? So it's not that cold. It's more of a swimming pool.
Maybe next week. Maybe next week we'll be live from the ice bath. Anyway, I want to get on the show. Let's get our guests on tonight. So I'd like to welcome at this time. Good evening to Zoe and Henry.
Oh, good evening. Thank you so much for having us on.
You're very welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. Well, I mentioned before that you're still in the States, Zoe. So just tell us, sorry, and whereabouts are you in America?
So I am 45 minutes east of Eugene in a very small town butted up to the Cascade Mountains. So Eugene, Oregon. No, Oregon on the West Coast. Okay. So a lot of people think of California, when they think of the West Coast, we're just north of California and western part of the state. So
how far from Spokane is that?
Let's see. I could probably drive north to Spokane in about 7 hours. 7 or 8 hours.
I've been within 7 hours of you before.
Oh, that's wonderful. Great. And we're currently experiencing an ice storm that has taken our power out. I mean, this is incredible. I'm using my internet hotspot. I have been out of power for a couple of days, and it's like really exciting to think about how New Zealand is in summer, and I'm almost there. My bags are packed. I leave my house tomorrow, so everything is good.
Oh, fantastic. Henry, what's the weather like in Auckland? What's she going to be coming to?
Yeah.
Tis balmy mid-20s here, Matt. So I have been sweating up a storm today, and so it'll be a welcome change.
What's that in American? Like mid-70s?
Something
like that?
Oh, somebody get some sort of
something like that. 70.
Working on it.
I know 28 is 82 because of two numbers swap. That's an easy one to remember.
25 Celsius is 77 Fahrenheit.
Whoa, there it is.
Oh, that sounds so fantastic. So good. I think I packed correctly. Some shorts and some t-shirts, dry fits. Yeah. Man, this is going to be such a treat.
Fantastic. So you lose a day coming over. So do you arrive on Tuesday here? Have we got that right?
Yep, the 22nd.
22nd.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. And then there's really only a couple of days before you jump straight into Topor, which is, kind of the festivities, I suppose, start on the Thursday or Friday, practice rounds and whatnot. Start then. So
it's going to be so fantastic. The fact that Henry and Simon have organized this tour and publicized it so well. I know that everybody over here is buzzing about it. I know that it's exciting to kick off the season, and a lot of people are envious of the Americans that are actually coming over to the tour. I think a lot of people are already thinking about next year because of the fact that we're all bragging about what we're coming to. The amenities, the courses look great. Like you said, Taupo's kicking it off, and it's going to be incredible. Everybody is really, really hyped.
Yeah, you're absolutely in for a treat in that part of the country. It's stunning.
So you land on the Tuesday, and then it's straight down to Topor. Is there any part of the trip, because you're here for pretty much the whole duration, right? For all four events, are you here for all four events, and then you fly back home pretty quick after, or do you get to hang around and do a bit of sightseeing?
Let's see. I'm going to hang around for, I think, an extra 3 days after the last event. So, I'll travel back up north and certainly hang out. Simon is the beginning of the reasons why I come there, and he's a good friend of mine. So I know that I'll have some good opportunities to check out, more things in Auckland over those last couple of days.
Yeah.
Definitely make sure you enjoy the Queenstown area when you're down here. You're at Paradise Plates at the end of February, mid-February, 17th. Perfect spot. You'll love it.
I can't wait.
Is it?
Yeah, actually, the last time I seen your friends Will and Zoe, they came down to compete at Paradise. So there you go.
Is there any part of the trip that you have got you've highlighted, or you've got a little asterisk by as that? This is my highlight. This is the thing I'm looking forward to the most.
Oh man. Well, I think there's a few things just tied. I'm really looking forward to some of the fun touristy things. I have to be honest, every single American who's ever traveled over there, first thing they want to do is go to the glowworm caves and see the beautiful iridescent lights and things like that. And so there's a couple folks excited to do that. I honestly just can't wait to get there, to hang out with Simon and Henry and just check it out. I have the luxury of, being able to drive around and check out a few different spots. Definitely got to get to as many beaches as possible. Got a list of a few beaches from close friends between myself and Simon that have been there and visited from the Portland area. So a few spots that are living right over here. I'm I got to get to these beaches. And then going to the south, southern areas, I have had a few opportunities to look up stuff, and I got to tell you, Corey Ellis and his wife Molly are on top of what can we book, what kind of helicopter rides, this and that, on and on. And I'm okay, hold on, everybody. We only have this much time. We do want to play good disc golf. We do gotta, I feel like I'm kind of wrangling the troops, but also listening to everything that's possible. And I'm man, let's take care of business, because business is our ultimate pleasure while we're there, and then see everything that we possibly can. It's just a matter of soaking in, knowing that you're going to sleep when you die, and soak in every minute.
Absolutely. Henry, you've gone and organised a load of disc golf tournaments in the middle of Zoe's holiday. Look, it's.
I know, what a pity. It's a shame Zoe's going to have to do a little bit of mahi while she's here, a little bit of work. But, I mean, what is particularly exciting about Zoe's presence here is the opportunity for her to impart her knowledge on the community with her involvement with UPlay, and Tour Down Under has partnered with UPlay to introduce disc golf to hundreds of students and educators across the country. So Zoe painted a very leisurely picture of her trip before, maybe until the last couple of sentences, but she's definitely understating the degree to which she's committed to introducing disc golf across the board here in New Zealand. And we've got some really sensational educational clinics lined up at each of our Tour Down Under events for anyone to attend.
I'm interested in the UPlay aspect of this. So for people who are listening and watching, Zoe, that perhaps aren't too familiar with it or haven't seen it too much, talk to us a little bit about what UPlay is, how you got involved, what they've, the bit of history.
Yeah. Okay. So UPlay is a nonprofit entity. So federally deemed here or determined in 2017 nonprofits. So 501c3. And actually we have been able to do work outside of the United States. It's been international. And what our mission statement provides is really, it's all 100% dedicated to health and well-being of communities through the provision of disc golf educational programs. And that encapsulates a really large array of unique circumstances of how can we set up introducing disc golf, teaching disc golf, and making disc golf education sustainable everywhere we go. So it's much more than just having a group of folks, getting them excited and showing them how to play. It's really about making sure that there are community leaders, folks that want to be supportive and continue to introduce folks to the sport. And, teachers and community coaches don't even have to be huge competitors in the game. However, it really helps. We've found some of the best teachers in the game are touring professionals or local professionals. And then we've also found some of the best teachers in the game never even competing in disc golf tournaments, but really passionate physical education directors and coordinators. So what UPlay is coming to provide for free in all 4 locations is a chance for adults to come and soak in the knowledge, both teachers and community interested coaches. And then that's part 1. And then part 2 is finding the group of students or a school, so youth organizations or schools that we can go and work with and actually apply the training that the adults just worked with myself and a couple of the touring professionals, the ambassadors that'll help me. So yeah, 2 parts. And it works really well because not only are they getting this one-on-one training with myself and a few of the touring pros, they're getting the UPlay methods and then getting to apply them right away, back to back with students. So we see these kind of trainings working all over the place. We've been in 9 countries, almost every state in the United States. And we've got a couple of curriculum books that are out now, and we're going to be teaching with those UPlay methods. And just looking forward to, all the joy and the vibe and the energy for not only the recipients that are going to be playing, but the ones that are learning to teach.
Excellent. So you've got this kind of train the trainer kind of going on, as well as the more direct to learner aspects. So, and Henry, you might be able to help with this as well. How is this going to manifest itself for the people who, Joe Public, who's either wanting to get involved with attending some of these clinics, or perhaps even has an interest in being a coach, or is it a coach or a teacher, or how do you what's the term?
Well, I would go there's 2 paths there. So teachers in schools, kindergarten, 1st grade, all the way up through university professors, Those are teachers introducing the disc golf material, or professors. And then we have community coaches that are doing it at a club level, after school program level, leagues and things like that. So we kind of have a 2-part session here for the adults, you know, or label of UPlay coach.
Okay. And so, Henry, how does someone get involved in this?
Yeah, there's a couple of ways to declare your interest in coming along. One is that tomorrow we're going to be releasing some Facebook events for all of the UPlay clinics, and that's an opportunity for the members of the community to invite anyone from the community, whether they know disc golf or not, to come along to the UPlay events and learn from the best in the business, from Zoe and her UPlay ambassador counterparts. The other way to do it, and in saying that, these events are free. Anyone in the community can come and attend and learn sustainable disc golf coaching methods with Zoe and UPlay. Additionally, we have a space on our Tour Down Under website at the moment where you can, declare your interest, but also simultaneously pledge a donation to UPlay to continue to support their mission to introduce disc golf to thousands of students and educators across the world. So if you head to the Tour Down Under's website, to our shop section, there's 3 different ways in which you can support UPlay and Zoe. So I invite anyone to go there now and check it out.
Excellent. So quite easy to get involved, and that you're going to be at all of the Tour Down Under stops on the way.
Yeah. Why don't I just give a wee rundown of what our UPlay schedule looks like? So there's 4 events spanning each of our 4 Tour Down Under tournament locations. One is slightly different, but I'll run through it. So we started obviously in Toport, and each of these UPlay events are occurring 2 days prior to the first round of tournament action. So Toport, for instance, the first tournament day is Saturday, the 27th of January. Our UPlay clinic 2 days prior, Thursday, the 25th. And we've already signed up a really special school holiday program there to work with us in our afternoon session. So it's going to be kids galore in the Arvo. So I think you'd be doing us a favour to come along and to bring a friend to the morning session, to then continue on in the afternoon to sort of do your best to handle what will be a really enthusiastic group of students. We then move to Nationals, and we've got an event at Ballarat. That's on Thursday the 1st. I need to change that on the website. Thursday the 1st of February. Then we go to Christchurch Bottle Lake, same again. That one is actually on Wednesday, the 7th. And then finally we head to Lismore Park in Wanaka, where we're going to be working with Mount Aspiring College. That's on Tuesday the 13th. And the reason for that slight change to the schedule there is because Paradise as a venue is a little bit too remote. And we thought that working in a sort of central location like Wanaka was probably our best bet. So, yeah.
Fantastic.
Nice.
I gotta say, I'm so thankful for the support of Henry, Tour Down Under organizing partners, and each one of the event hosts that he's been able to reach out to and work with as far as being able to book these events. It's not the easiest thing to say. We've got a huge educational resource coming. It's free. Oh, by the way, let's get some kids there. And so I just have to say that, you know, we've been able to work with really amazing project drivers in Europe, in Africa, all over the United States, Canada. And so far the experience in New Zealand, and I know once we get there, even more is going to unfold, is just, it's really exciting. It's incredible because New Zealand has such a huge disc golf culture already. This is just going to amplify and continue with the growth. And I think it's pretty special to be a part of. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that growth over the last few years. Obviously post-COVID, everybody experienced that growth, and New Zealand was no different. And we're starting to see larger junior fields, and the junior divisions are now becoming increasingly more competitive. And there's some fantastic juniors who are coming through the ranks and starting to kind of come of age, if you like. The best player in the country currently is just 18, I think. Levi's 18.
12, 13, I don't know.
12, 13, no. He's and so
I still think he's an intermediate sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes, he's almost comfortably the best player in the country right now, and has come through those junior ranks, and we've been watching him on this show for some years.
He was incredible this weekend. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
He got pushed right to the limit, but man, he was incredible this weekend.
Yeah.
I don't really know how someone of that age can just keep up such a high level of sport. Just doesn't dip out at any point. It's incredible.
Yeah. That's maybe a good point there, Morgan. And a question for Zoe of how much UPlay kind of touches on this is that on the Levi's in the chat. I am 17. Thank you. Sorry. So he's confirmed it for us. Something we talked about quite often on the show and with other guests as well is how do you train for the mental aspect of the game? Okay, so you can practice the kind of physical aspect, you can build the muscle memory, and you can work on your technique and ad nauseum out in the field or whatever. But how do you practice the mental game that I think is as much as important as the physical game? Is that something that UPlay can kind of talk to, or maybe yourself? You've got some experience in that.
Yeah. Well, so UPlay won't be coming out with like the super advanced material like that for a while, but I do a lot of personal coaching and have worked with a ton of people throughout the Pro Tour, tour card holders, myself included, for over a decade now. And the mental aspect of the game, you're absolutely right. It's so important, and you do have to train for it. And what I'm getting ready to say is going to be like, oh boy, this sounds so boring, but you really do have to train golf. And so studying some of the best, like Bob Rotella writes a really good book, but studying some of the best aspects of the simplicity of the design of our game. And then the way that we quickly have triggers, whether we get upset about an outcome of a shot, or we quickly lose the focus of what we want next and we need to reel it in. Some of these concepts seem really simple when I just say them, but it's a much deeper study in the game of golf. And so disc golf, being frisbee golf, being the beginning of our sport, moving into disc golf, it's absolutely designed after that really addictive game of golf. And so actually studying professional golf, how do we approach the game? How do we digest the game? Actually, one of my favorite things is how to take a quick mental break over a mistake or an error or like a bad break, because those are all three different things. You can make a big mistake on your own. You can have a bad break when it was a really good shot, or you can just kind of be in a bad mood and throwing something that doesn't really suit what your plan was. So you've got a few scenarios when we're a little bit on side tilt or, out of our perfect golf realm. And that's a place to study, is in the game of golf, and the top touring professionals that have been in it for hundreds of years, how they digest it, how they get through moments like that, and how they celebrate really big moments. Because for us, birdies are a little more available than like on a golf course, and aces are still a magical moment, I would say, in time.
Absolutely.
And are very comparable to the game of golf, getting a hole in one, because it's so special. But I think they could happen a little more regularly for us. But think about your excitement level, you guys, right after you're on the birdie train for a few minutes. Like, are you able to not think about how good you're doing and what the score is? Or are you starting to seep into this kind of focus on score, which will take you out of your game plan? These are all concepts of golf and the design of the game. So really the mental game is, it's not something UPlay does a whole bunch of, but it's something I do a lot of private coaching on, and something that will come out in like advanced material, in future books.
I was sorry to interrupt. I'm just kind of thinking along those lines. That's sort of more towards someone who's been playing for maybe a few years, quite, touring here, slightly different to the US and that, but someone who's traveling around even just in their local area, competing and trying to get better, rather than a newer player. Whereas I guess, in my opinion, a newer player, just that experience, that tournament experience, just keep going to your local leagues, your one-day events, all these small little things where you're always competing and just getting that mental practice of being under a bit of pressure all the time, I think is a pretty big benefit to especially the newer players.
I would agree with that. And I think that everyone always needs to remember, no matter what level of competition you're playing, how fun the design of the game is. And the father of the game, Steady Ed himself, the quote on all these plaques, and everything in the disc golf museum is most fun wins. And I mean, you're probably having the most fun if you're birdieing and getting an opportunity at every hole and things like that. So remember that every competition or league or club or tournament brings you to that space of most fun,
Heck yeah.
Yeah. I actually, thinking about it now, the tournaments where I performed best were the ones where I was enjoying it. And I can remember there was some absolute howlers where you're just having a tough time. You just want to walk off, But those ones don't tend to go so well. So I think that's fantastic. I do think that the mental side of the game is something for the top players in New Zealand, is something which will be something that they're always working on, and actually really excited that they'll have some examples coming over, yourself included, Zoe, that they can imitate or learn from, and pick up some tips that will take their game to the next level. In terms of the playing, in terms of the what you're kind of looking forward to, I suspect, is it the UPlay stuff, or is it the actually competing that because you're playing in all the events, FPO, you're going up against the best players, the best ladies in New Zealand, and Juliana Korver, right? So
Absolutely,
it's going to be a tough time. What do you, what's your prep been for this off-season prep?
All right, well, let's start off with my biggest excitement. Of course, I'm the executive director of UPlay, and I'm always happy for opportunities. But let's talk about how UPlay even started. It's my passion. It's playing. And my very first phone call with Henry and Simon, literally cut to the chase. They told me about the events, and then I said, so what kind of commentary, do you want me to do for these events on the weekends? Because I instantly kind of had counted myself just out of playing, because I have shifted into such a disc golf network commentator and an educator and things like that, and speaking at conferences. And when they said they wanted me to play, I just kind of knew everything was in place. These guys are the best homies I could have run into, for sure. Like, I already knew Simon was a quality guy. I've been getting to know Henry, and I'm stoked. But these guys see talent. I look at the other players coming over, and I see the way that they're promoting us, and I'm like, wow, how exciting and what an opportunity. The most exciting thing I'm looking forward to is playing these events and being tenacious and digging deep and getting into being the player again. And I have found that I'll say this as quickly as I can, because it's kind of hard to wrap into one small statement. When you work in the industry that you're passionate about, you don't necessarily remember to enjoy the passion of your industry. And I started UPlay because I'm so in love with the flight of a disc and what the game and the competition does for me. So when I think about the tour down under, my most exciting thing is playing with JK. Juliana Korver is one of my closer friends, actually, on the disc golf tour. So her and I are just going to dance through these events and have the greatest time together. We're also Haley Flintoff, I saw signed up for a few things. She's my girl. I've known her for just about a decade. She's been traveling over here. Can't wait to play with her and meet all of the other ladies. It's going to be amazing. So I think what I have to offer is going to be something that New Zealand as a whole will really benefit from, and maybe remember Zoe AnDyke for the most. But when I get to come over and compete and play, man, I'll tell you, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. I'm just like, I can't even wait. And to train for it in all the snow and the ice that I'm living in currently, this is a real deal. Because Juliana's in Hawaii right now. She is kicking so much, but she's, you know, partially across the ocean. She's in a very nice warm temperature. But I have literally been out in my snowboarding gear, playing. And then we have these things called crampons that you put on your shoes that are like ice. Yeah, okay, so you gotta like safely brace yourself. But I've been practicing a lot of balance and a lot of standstill shots, lowering my expectations because my grip, you know, my cold hands and wearing gloves and mittens, things like that. You have to, this is more of like a, I would say, training through tough conditions or adversity. And when I get to the warm and wonderful climate, everything is just going to loosen up, and I'm going to like, I'm just going to have nothing but fun watching myself throw and at full capacity, because that's what you can do in summer temperatures. You know, you can't really do that in the freezing temperatures.
Well, all that training will certainly come in use at Bellaraka and Paradise, I would have thought, where the footing is sometimes not as easy as you might like it to be. But
so wait, I have to ask you guys: is Paradise the course that is a little bit more rugged, or maybe the tee pads are a little bit more limited? All the rest of the tee pads are like concrete and pretty good on the tour courses.
Well, Henry, can you answer that one?
Yeah, most of the courses have turf tee pads. Three of our 4 venues have turf, and then one has concrete, and then that would be the first one, total. But they're all pretty good. You know, they're either built up on top of a wooden temporary pad surface, or they're laid onto a nice flat piece of ground. So I think you'll be fine. There's certainly no snow or ice storms predicted for January and February. So you
are coming to Paradise, so you never know.
That's the best. Yeah, we're already winning.
Yeah, I've got a lot of experience in Paradise. It's just down the road from me. It is one of the most spectacular places you're ever going to step foot on in your life. The tee pads are always amazing. Disc Golf Wanaka has full turf tee pads. They rake them out, get them perfect. But as soon as you step off that tee pad, you're in another game right there. It's she's rugged. She's beautiful. She bites. She gives back. It's a treat. It is, I would say, in the top 2 places I've ever played in the world.
Oh man, this is fantastic! Like, we're already all just like frothing at the bit to get over there, and to hear that, like, I know it's true. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
So, Henry, you've got really the rubber hits the road for you next week, really, for the Tour Down Under. We were talking before the show about how it's crunch time, where everything's coming together. Any kind of last minute bits and pieces that you need to finish off, or that you know going to be taking particularly your attention over the next few days?
Well, we've certainly got most of our ducks in a row now for all of our Tour Down Under events, and it's certainly felt like the foot's been hot on the gas for the last couple of months to get everything kind of in ship shape, and now really with the tour on the horizon, just starting next weekend, it'll be a chance to, I think, enjoy all of those things to come together, to have our guests here, to invite the community from around the country to join us at each of these locations, and to put on some pretty spectacular festivals of disc golf, if you will, at each of our 4 locations. So there's still a few things to kind of just tidy up with last minute logistical and operational kind of components, but the meat and the bones are all pretty much sorted. And everything, we've had some exciting sort of couple of days really, because all of our Tour Down Under material and collateral and event activation stuff has all arrived. And actually one of the things that arrived in the post today was this, our Idio Sports Tour Down Under hot off the press samples from our manufacturing partner overseas. So that'll be pretty exciting, I think, to introduce these to to the
That's
community.
awesome. A pair for everyone that competes at all the events?
At Bottle Lake, every
Bottle Lake.
amateur, novice, and junior player will get a pair of these very pretty Syncrasy shoes. And so we're also going to be vending at each of our 2 Down Under locations. So you'll get a chance to come and try them on for size and compare them to your existing footwear. And so we've got some nice things to sort of lined up.
They'll be brilliant in Bottle Lake Forest. Good traction in there.
I think so. Yeah, it'll work out well.
Is that course fully installed now? That's super exciting.
It is, yeah. There was some pretty sweet developments over the Christmas period, and that there were some baskets delivered, and those baskets were installed, and so the Watkinson family and the Rangers of Bottle Lake have put in some work there over the Christmas period to get it pretty much playable. So for the last, I think, two or 3 weeks now, that course has been 18 basketed championship holes with both long and short tees. So we invite everybody to go and check it out. And by the time the tournament comes around on the 9th to the 11th of February, that course is just going to be looking absolutely primo. Turf everywhere, beautiful signage, and we have a wonderful tournament HQ going with some music and some vendors and such. And then obviously some really nice side event experiences with Zoe and UPlay on the Wednesday. Then we've got our Video Sports Coaching Roadshow on Thursday, which is a clinic hosted by 3 of our international guests. Really hands-on interactive experience. So I invite everybody to head to the 2 Down Under website to check out some of the details around that clinic. And then we're on to the tournament. And obviously that's sort of our format for each of the 4 events. So if you can't get to Bottle Lake, get to certainly do your best to get to one of the events and check it out.
Fantastic.
Awesome stuff.
Fantastic.
I can't wait to play that Bottle Lake course, man. As I said previously, I lived right around the corner from there, and I'm super jealous it wasn't there when I was young all those years ago.
Isn't it just a beautiful spot for this golf? And so, it had been a bit rugged there for a while, but the guys in Christchurch, the Watkinsons and the Rangers, just unearthed it from the forest floor. And
turf tee pads, clear fairways, baskets installed. How good. Oh, it's so exciting.
Excellent. Great stuff. Look, Zoe, we've got one more thing for you this evening, which is something which we do with most of our guests, first time we have them on, is the Desert Island Disc Golf. Okay, so if you're new to the show and you're not quite sure what this segment is, it's been a while since we've done one actually. The premise is that Zoe is stranded on a desert island. This desert island has a disc golf course, and she has been stranded with 3 of her favorite discs and 3 of her favorite card mates. Now, her card mates can be anyone she wants. They can be people she knows. They can be cartoon characters. They can be people from history. They can be her best friends, family, whoever. Okay. Zoe, first of all, take us through the discs. What would you hope to be stranded with if you were stranded on a desert island with a disc golf course?
Oh, this is simple. It's easy. It is my signature Sphinx, 9.6, -3, Glide 2. So this thing, it's just unbelievable. I'm bringing a few of them over. So that's
an Infinite Discs mold?
Yep, Infinite Discs and Thought Space designed artwork. And this disc will do everything. And it'll glide farther than some of my distance drivers. And it's technically a fairway driver. So I got the Sphinx and then my Thought Space Mana. And I have 2 different, I have 2 different manas. But this is a 5.5, -2.1. And this thing, it flies farther than how far I used to throw a T-bird when I used to have T-birds in my bag. So anyways, the mana will get the job done. You can do every flight or shot shape. And then even though I putt with daggers, I was the 2018 World Putting Champion with daggers, I decided not to go with my putting putter in a situation of life and death and forevermore because Paige came out with the Fierce, and it'd be crazy to not have a Fierce with you. This is my long distance and uphill or elevation putter. It pretty much does everything you can ever ask it to. Probably doesn't throw major hyzer bombs, but that's okay. You know, you can adjust for that. But so yeah, all of these maybe are a little bit understable, but it's the Sphinx, the Mana, and the Fierce. Wouldn't be caught at all. And probably my Mini. It's cute. Me and Paigey, she gave that to me for my birthday.
Awesome.
2017. Yeah, that's coming over with me. It goes everywhere with me, all around the world. So it's gonna mark all my birdie putts. Yeah. But yeah, thanks for asking. And then my card mates, it's probably pretty easy to assume because of my friendship and my closeness with Paige. I always like playing with her. I like playing competitive rounds with her because it's straight business, and I like playing casual rounds with her because it is the most casual and fun and loud and silly and elated a disc golf round could be. So I'd go Paige Pierce on Scoggins. She's one of my closer girlfriends. Used to have her in my car. We used to tour together back in 2015, I think. But Owen and I, you can't get a happier card. And then out of all the MPOs I could name, because I love so many of them, I'd still call Dustin Keegan number one every time. He's my number one like fan, and we just bounce and vibe off each other so positively. And as you know, when you're with positive people, you're throwing better. So there's my card. Probably Henry, because Dustin's not going to make it to the Tour Down Under this year. So I'm going to go ahead and call it out right now. He's been pretty smiley, pretty positive, pretty awesome through this experience.
I'll fill in for Dustin if you need.
It's an easy 1-for-1 there.
Fantastic. Absolutely. That sounds great. And what a great card. What a great card. We had Paige on the show about 2 years ago, actually. It was nearly 2 years ago. And yeah, I can't remember what she said.
It's been 2 years already?
It's been about 2 years, Morgan, since she was on the show. So it was a similar kind of thing. She chose very similar kind of people, like people who are created a good vibe, friends of hers, etc. So that's great. Right, now we're going to get to know you a little bit more. We've got the Sweet Chain Safari. So there's 18 questions. The first 9 is the family-friendly front 9. Really easy questions. Same 9 questions to each person each week. And then the Safari back 9, which takes the form of a this or that, different questions for each person each week. So, kicking us off. Are you ready? This is quick fire. What's your name?
Zoe AnDyke.
Where do you live?
Oregon, in the United States.
Where were you born?
Ooh, northeastern corner, a small town called LeGrand.
What's your PDGA number?
39504.
How long have you been playing?
Almost 20 years, just shy of.
Your favorite disc?
Sphinx, my signature Sphinx.
Your favorite course?
Milo McIver, specifically the East Beaver State Fling layout.
Your favorite FPO player?
Paige Pierce and Val Jenkins.
and your favorite MPO player?
I gotta say it, Paul Macbeth and Dustin Keegan.
Not willing to cut them down the middle and just give us a straight answer.
That was the family-friendly front 9. Morgan's got the Safari back 9 for you.
Look, I can't have you going half and half here, all right? So serious questions only. Cats or dogs?
Okay.
Cats
What's that?
or dogs?
Oh, dogs.
Good. You're
Dogs.
okay with me. Right, beach holidays or city breaks?
Beach holidays.
All right, playing or coaching?
Playing.
Oh.
I mean, I already dig coaching so much. I have to go with playing. I'm just a kid at heart.
Fair enough. And who is easier to teach then if you are teaching, children or adults?
Children.
Children? More malleable?
It's just way more excited, yeah.
Fair. Are you more of a forehand or a backhand player?
Backhand dominant.
Okay, and if you're throwing your backhand, do you prefer an 80-meter tunnel shot or like a 100-meter open shot?
80-meter tunnel shot.
Tunnel shot up the middle. All right. Would you rather compete locally or abroad?
Abroad.
Abroad. Well, good news. You're about to.
Yeah.
If you were to go to a sports game, would you rather go to the game or tailgate it?
Oh.
Big question.
Well, I'm going to the game, even though I love tailgating. I'm going to the game. I'm into the action.
Roger. Tailgating's good, though. And no, that's right. Well, the whole A team will say it's the biggest question of all. Australia or New Zealand?
Oh,
There is a
New
correct
Zealand.
answer. Yeah, that is
Let's
correct.
go.
That is the correct answer. Excellent. Thank you so much, Zoe. That was good fun. Enjoyed that, and thank you so much for joining us this evening. We'll leave you now to go and get some rest, ready for your super long flight tomorrow. Very best.
11 hours left before you leave.
Well, that's when I leave my house. I actually have still just a couple of days. I get to play disc golf with Ella Hansen and Chandler Fry up in the Seattle area. I'm gonna get to hang out with some big names and send them off to their disc golf pro tour season, while they send me off with some beautiful energy to the tour down under.
When you meet Ella, she's coming to New Zealand in March.
Yes.
She's coming over with Avery and Avery Jenkins at the end of March, so you'll be able to hype her up about your trip. I'm very much looking forward to it.
She is very excited, and she's excited to hear about each place that I go and hear some of my recommendations. But before you guys let me go to sleep, I'm super excited for that. I actually don't fly until Saturday my time. I think that's Sundays, realistically your time. But yeah, I'll be headed up to Seattle and practicing a couple more rounds, hopefully not in ice up there. It'll be a little bit better weather. But for anybody that listens to this show, number one, just get on and check out the Tour Down Under website and understand all of the things that are like available to you. The events to come and watch. Hopefully everybody's signed up and playing already that's going to play, but to watch the events is going to be spectacular. And to come to some of these free clinics, whether it's the coaching clinics at the course or the UPlay free offerings, the spectrum of knowledge is probably going to be unparalleled for another professional sport coming and visiting a place. I think that the organization of everything that TDU has to offer is top notch, and I haven't seen it done quite this well. I'm excited for everything that's to come. Fantastic.
Well, look, very, very best of travels over the next few days. Have a relaxing flight, and we'll see you in New Zealand next week.
Thanks so much.
That sounds so good. Thank you, guys. Can't wait to see you.
Okay. Just before we go, Matt, might I just say congratulations on getting to 150 episodes last week. That's really a sensational milestone to have been at it for so long and have been such a passionate promoter of disc golf here. And
during this show, 300 subscribers.
Well,
another big milestone. Congrats.
Yeah, Henry, that's very kind. We'll keep doing it whilst people keep watching. We'll keep doing this. Awesome. And whilst we can have such lovely guests as yourselves on, it gives us even more reason to do it. It makes the shows even easier to produce. So have a great few days, and we'll see you in New Zealand in a week's time.
That sounds great. Thank you, guys.
All right.
See
Safe
you
travels. Cheers. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Matt, I'm also going to travel off and unpurple myself. I'll be back in just a moment.
Yeah, I mean...
No. Let's not ask questions we don't have the answers to. I'll be back, not like an Oompa Loompa, in just a moment.
Okay. I think that must be the ice bath that's finally caught up with Morgan. Something's happened to his purple screen. Anyway, if you're going to be able to make any of the Tour Down Under events over the next 4 weeks, it starts. The first one is a week on Saturday. Then make sure you get to all of the pre-events. There's lots of stuff going on.
Sorry about that.
There's lots of stuff going on before the events and during the events to make sure that the experience is going to be a good one. So make sure you get along and see what we can do. Great to talk to Zoe there, Morgan.
Oh man, it's incredible! Like I'm so hyped that these guys are coming down under. Her and the rest of the team that are coming out are just such good advocates, great advocates for the game. It only means big things for the future and Absolutely. For the next few weeks. So,
yeah,
New Zealand, you're in for a treat.
Right. Let's get on with the rest of the show. We've got a couple of things that I really want to pick out first, just before we get to going through some previous results. The first thing, Steve just beat me to it. Congratulations to Brett Carlisle for winning the skins draw at Topor.
Oh, yes, he did.
I was watching at 8 o'clock, right? I'm prepping for the show. I'm sat here prepping for it. I've got the live show going on. I've got Steve's dulcet tones talking through the rules, etc. Getting on with it. And Brett messages me whilst the video's going on and Steve's talking of a card that he's playing at. You know, you can do the share UDIS card. He's doing that from Berrenport, where he's playing now and or earlier on tonight. And so he's out playing with Simon Fogarty, man, myth legend. And so he's playing, and then the draw comes, and his name comes up, and I was like, "This is brilliant." Obviously, Brett's one of my good friends, and so I message him, and I'm like, "Bro, that was awesome! So stoked for you." And he was just like, "Oh yeah, I don't think my round was that good. It was I played okay." I'm like, no, you don't get it. So what he's done is he's won the draw for to play in $1,000 skins match in Topor on Friday, and he'll be playing on the same card as Corey Ellis, Juliana Corver, Nate Perkins, and Levi Stout. So
anything can happen at these skins matches.
Anything can happen, right? And
anything.
And I mean, Brett's a fantastic player, and he's got a huge arm. He can throw far. So I'm hoping that the 9 holes they play at Topor are 9 of the more open holes and not those ones that are tricky out in the woods on the right-hand side. Just
a wee wink, wink, nudge, nudge, TD.
Well, I think typically hole, what was it? The throwdown holes 2, 3, and 4 were particularly tough. So yeah, but anyway, we'll be cheering Brett on at that. We love an underdog here on Sweet Chain Live, so we'll be cheering Brett on in the skins match. No wooded holes, hooray!
And I bring it up, and honestly, I'm sorry if I'm ruining the order of events, but maybe not an underdog, but someone who did play this weekend. And we're going to go to west side of Woodville. Who won that this weekend, Matt?
Johnny Wake won it. Johnny Wake won it by a country mile, right? Quite to be honest, I think he finished like 22 under, and the next person is 8 under or something. He absolutely destroyed the field, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him play more and more this year. I mean, I really want him to go down south and take on the Stouts, honestly. And
he is coming down south.
Yeah, I know. I think GCO is where you'll see him, and that's shaping up to be
and Armageddon, I believe,
and Armageddon as well. Yeah, so those two could be shaping up to quite good tournaments, because as we saw at Inglewood, he's capable of really kicking it with the best of them and putting pressure on the leaders. Only a few shots off Jacko at Inglewood.
And shout out to Ryan Kiddo at west side of Woodville this weekend. You were running an event alongside the same weekend as I was. I was keeping an eye on things, and man, I only seen positive messages, Facebook posts from everyone. It's so awesome that you managed to get a prize for every single person in the tournament, dude. That is incredible, and hats off to you. I cannot wait to get up to that event.
And it's 60-something players as well.
Yeah.
I'd love to. It's an invite-only event, right? So you gotta have a chat to Ryan if you want to get involved. So I'd love to get up to that 1 week. We shall, or 1 year rather. I shall see if I can get the time. And
surely a couple of Sweet Chain invites.
We shall see. Right. let's have a look at the results from the Roxburgh Open, which happened last weekend, Morgan. You will know about this, so I'm just going to pop them up onto the screen now. The winner was Levi Stout, and he won by 3 shots in the end. Looked pretty comfortable from where I was sat. It looked like, first round he's got a stroke lead, second round he opens that lead up, and then Ethan shoots at I think a course record and the hot round of the tournament with a 10.25 rated final round. You were there.
I was there, and I didn't play the last round, so I had the benefit of doing all the background stuff, sitting on my laptop for the best part of the day and just watching the scores. And although he had a lead and maintained it the whole way, absolutely was not a given. His brother Ethan Stout and Andrew Popham were just putting on from what I could see from behind the computer, a clinic in their own right. Ethan finished the last round with a 53. So 2 shots. He gained 2 shots back on Levi in that last round. So he had to stay on top of his game just to maintain that lead because these guys were coming in hot.
Yeah, so some pretty good scores there. I mean, it bodes well for this weekend when the Stouts go up against each other again at the Southern Smash. And actually, many of these competitors go up against each other at the Smash next weekend as well. We'll have a look at the tips for the Smash shortly. And it's a similar story to what was earlier on, what happened last weekend. We called the top 5. The Sweet Chain Analytics team called the top 5 would be the top 5. So well done to the analytics team there. Looking at FPO now, Michaela Kerr wins comfortably over Echo Lee. And also playing in off the, what did you call them? The A layout was the FA1. So Michaela Kerr wins comfortably over Echo Lee. Alison Tweedy takes out FA1 again comfortably as well. And shooting a hot 8.73 first round. Michaela's 9.12 round, which I think is one of the highest in her career, is were the highlights.
Yeah, she was really hyped on that round. Had a brief chat with her and stoked. I guess there's not even any other words that sort of go together with how she was feeling. She was stoked. You could visibly see it as well. She was very happy with her performance.
That's Michaela.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we spoke about this last week. The amount of work she puts in, and the amount of every day it's on her Instagram of out in the field practicing. It's paying off. It's great to see. Great to see.
Yeah, well, she's chasing down that. She's moved up to FPO and chasing down that Innova sponsorship. That's
absolutely,
up for grabs.
Absolutely. It's amazing what a prize like that can motivate people to do. Over to MP40, and Johnny Ferrari comes back in the final round. Takes 5 shots on Jay Puki to win in the final round. After the first round, he was like 6 shots off the lead, and I was going, because we spoke about it, and we kind of said he was our outside pick because he wasn't the favorite, but he was our kind of outside pick for taking it out. And I was like, oh, we might have got it wrong here, but no, he pulled it together in the second 2 rounds. And
I was staying in the house with him for the weekend, and he sort of come back home on the Saturday night, maybe not with a chip on the shoulder, but he was talking himself into the win. He really wanted it. He's had a big hand in that event over the last few years, and he was sort of almost getting into his own head, going, "You are going to win this." He was telling himself, "You're going to win this." And he did. He came out, and the whole weekend he won. He took down 2 CTPs. He split the ace kitty.
Oh wow!
Yeah, man. It all speaks to the win.
Good weekend in the Ferrari house.
Bits and pieces together,
and he'll be on home turf this weekend as well, which is obviously an advantage. So let's just have a quick look at MA1. Sam Lycan wins by a stroke. Fights off Ben Quinn and Norman Tudor in the final round.
Not many strokes separating the top. 7.
There's not very many there, and MA1 for me over the last year has got real competitive. Any one of a dozen players could win could win on any one week. We've seen players. I mean, look at Duan finishing in 13th. He would have been disappointed with that finish, I suspect. But next week could well easily win the event, you know. So yeah, I mean, it's all about. Jin's another one who perhaps had a weekend that.
Yeah, he just had a bit of a off weekend, but you know, he's been straight back out on the course this week and just putting himself back in the thick of it, putting in a bunch of practice, and
yeah,
you know, him and Gus get a lot of practice together, and they push each other day in day out. So yeah, don't be surprised if you see Jin right back at the top of the pack again this weekend.
We'll have a look at the odds of MA1 in a second, and yeah, they paint a very similar story. How it's very close.
But even though he only won by one stroke, these guys all know that they're chasing him. They all know it.
Yeah,
I've heard it from all of them. You know, they can all be right there, but they know they're chasing Sam. So you know, that's a little bit of weight on Sam's shoulders and a little bit less weight on their shoulders, but they're still chasing. So
yeah,
huge battles.
Yeah, look, I think it's good that a young player like Sam is being exposed to the pressure that you get from playing in competitive disc golf. It's not at the top end, right? But that doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter that it's not at the top of MPO. What matters is they're competing for a divisional win against people who are incredibly similarly matched. And on any day, any one of a dozen players could go on and win it. So to go on and win it really speaks to the way someone's prepped and to the way someone's then gone out and executed a plan. So yeah, very well done to Sam Lycan there. Good to see. Over to MA40, the best division. Lance Eason takes this one out by a shot over Luke Godfrey.
Good battle there all weekend as well. These guys know they're in the thick of it.
Say again.
Said good battle with these guys all weekend as well. They all knew they were in the thick of it and anyone could take it out. So it was just about maintaining, keeping it up the middle, staying out of danger, and you know, that's enough when it comes down the line.
Absolutely. FA40, Nicola Stout wins this one, perhaps quite predictably. MA50, Joshua Walker wins relatively comfortably over Jeff Lewis. Don't know Joshua.
Invercargill native. Didn't really have another word for that. Invercargill native. He's done well there. Josh sort of struggles a wee bit with a bit of a knee injury. He's wearing a brace, and it was a big day on Saturday playing 2 rounds, and I knew that he was struggling through Sunday. So just to be able to maintain, what did he do? He played a 907 rated round in the last round, which was plenty of the rest of the field. And he got
4 strokes in the final round. So that's
he got the job done.
Did very well. Rob Kent beats out Paul Deacon in MA60. MA2, Joel Maunder wins over Ashley Clements.
Yeah, a bit of a battle of the two guys there, Joel and Ashley. They sort of got out to a good start above the rest of the field, maintained it through round 2, and it was a battle between those two coming down the stretch.
Yeah, Joel Maunder keeping his nose in front to the end. And finally, Magnus Davidson wins over Connor Rance in MJ18.
That was a good battle we were all looking forward to.
Thanks to really a final round. I mean, that's, you know, Magnus goes into the final round with a 2-shot lead.
Yeah, well, the juniors kicked us off on Sunday morning, and unfortunately it was raining and it was cold. So it turned around from 30 plus degrees on Saturday afternoon to around 10 to 13 degrees with rain and a bit of wind in the morning. So that was what they were battling. They were battling the elements, and Magnus got the better of it.
Indeed. And then finally, Sarah Wadsworth playing on in MJ 10, 828 rated. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, did you see my posts about this?
No, go on.
So her first round of 786 was the was the highest ever rated round by a girl of her age ever in any tournament in the world, dating to that day. And then 828 just blew that out the water by another, 38 points or so. 42 points. Maybe bad math, whatever. 828, that's the record-breaking best round ever by a female of that age.
That's fantastic.
It's incredible.
Fantastic. Very well done, Sarah. Continuing to break records. Man, when she's 18, she's going to be insane.
It doesn't even need to be 18, I mean, we look, again, like we were just saying before, Levi. He's 17 now, and he's been dominating since he was about 15, maybe earlier. Where we're probably going to see this if she continues the way she's going with the training that she's doing, all the work she's putting in. Give it 3 or 4 more years when she's sort of filled out a wee bit and has that extra distance with her, ability by just by the growing body to actually throw those extra meters. I mean, we're in for a treat in the next few years.
Absolutely. Right, let's have a look at the tips for the Southern Smash, shall we? I'll bring the tips up on the screen, and you'll have the. Actually, let's see if I can do a bit of a combination of both. So here we go. The latest odds for the Southern Smash this weekend. Levi Stout is 2-1 to win with Maxime Ton. She's back in the country at 6-1. Andrew Popham at 8, Sebastian Faulkner at 8, Francis Orange at 11, and Ethan Stout at 16 and bar. Anyone outside of those top 6 you think are going to threaten?
Yes, people that definitely can, but the person I think is going to threaten for that number 1 lead, and it's probably going to be a battle of 2 or 3, maybe even 4 players, but I think Andrew Popham is. I'd love to see him come out on top. He's been putting in a hell of a lot of work, and just seeing him play at the weekend was a sight to behold. So I think he's got everything it takes to be there. 2 weeks ago, when I was speaking about Francis Orange, I said he's an incredible player. I didn't think he was quite there, but the results that are coming through, I believe he can be right there at the very top as well. And it's only going to take, 1 or 2 positive strokes on his end and 1 or 2 negative strokes from a couple of other players to put him right in that top spot. So I don't know, man. I think this is going to be one of the tighter battles we've seen in the top 4 or 5 players at any event recently.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight one. The odds suggest that Levi's win will be quite comfortable, but I'm not sure that I think it's perhaps a different test. Some familiar faces, and he came up against Maxime last year on the same course. So it'll be interesting to see what can happen.
Levi's got such a strong mental game, like we've been talking about tonight. But when you bring in someone like Max from overseas, who we know how well he can play, how far he can throw, that can bring that extra element of pressure on board, and that could almost be the thing that lets the other guys back in the door.
Yeah. Okay, let's have a look. MP40. So we've got Hemi Teafitu and Mikey Yu are the favourites here, with Tom McKay and Johnny Ferrari. I tell you what, that's a tough one to call, isn't it? Between those 4.
Yeah, well, then you've also got 998 rated Trevor Harbolt from the US.
Of course,
is there as well.
Yes, I didn't include him in the odds because we don't have any stats on him. However, you are absolutely right. Trevor Harbolt is albeit 1,000 rated, so would arguably go in as the favourite to take out the MP40 division. With the other chaps. Looking to see what they can do. What do you reckon to this one then?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know of Trevor Harbolt. I don't know him. I haven't seen much of his play. You just kind of got to assume that someone of that caliber is going to be right there. I would never write Johnny off, but when he is, part of the crew running the tournament, I'm not sure if he will be right at the top, although I do want to see him at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Hemi, you can never write him off. Mikey's had a bit of a rough patch last weekend. I feel like he's probably going to bounce back and he's going to be right there at the top. So my pick outside of Trevor, who is the top-rated player, is going to be Mikey to be right at the top, probably followed by a Hemi. And then I think we might see a sneaky Steve Tate actually show up in the top 4.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Let's have a look at the next division, MA1. We said it was close.
Sorry, did I miss it? Did we go through FPO?
Not yet. We'll get to FPO in a second. Over in MA1, Isaac Latter is the favourite at 6-1. Jin Kato at 7. Sam Lycan at 10. George Moss at 12. Jack Maffey at 14. Where's your money this weekend?
Adam Rhymes. I know he's my guy, but I tell you what, he's putting in some work and he is fiending for that first win. He's been playing some good golf. Other than when I beat him this week with his own bag, He's been playing really good. Not rubbing it in. Love you, bro. Adam Rhymes, and I think what we're going to see is someone who I have not seen for a little while, but I know he's pretty blimmin' good at disc golf, and he is in the tournament. He's coming late notice. Is Tyler Honor. Tyler Malzard Honor out of Christchurch. Formerly of Christchurch. I think he might be in Dunedin now. You might see him make it up onto the podium, but outside of that, I'd love to see Gus Van Gisteren right up there. It's a course just built for him, especially the golf course side. Even though I see a bunch of names, they're my picks, and I think I'd like to see Adam come out on top.
Well, we shall see. Very best of luck, Adam, and very best of luck to everybody else. Isaac Latter, according to the statisticians, goes into the tournament as the favourite. And then finally in FPX, and bearing in mind that this weekend, FPO and FA1 play the same course, but FA40 and FA2 play a different course layout, I should say. Hayley Flintoff at odds of 1.2, Morgan. I think shows perhaps her dominance in this division. Victoria Speller at 4.7, Michaela Kerr at 9.7, Echo Lee 10.8.
Man, this is a hard one to call. I haven't seen Hales play for a little bit. I don't know how much practice she's been getting in. Michaela's coming off the back of a good win. Echo, I can just see bouncing back into any fight out there in that division. And Victoria's fresh back from a holiday yesterday. So not playing too much disc golf because she's been out in Canada. She tells me it was minus 50 one day, 5-0. It's insane. Someone who comes back from a holiday and is just feeling refreshed, rejuvenated, wouldn't surprise me if she actually topped the table for FPX this weekend.
Okay, that'll be interesting. I mean, Hayley's won her last 5 or 6 events. Took out Wahitapu most recently, and has probably got she's at the moment. She's quite far ahead of the rest.
Yeah, well, playing on these courses have the golf course sort of style to them. A big arm's going to come into it as well, and Michaela Kerr has a cannon.
Absolutely.
We'll see.
Right.
Let's have a look. If I made any picks there or not. Just saying.
Let's have a look at some upcoming events. So it's the Smash this weekend. The Seafarer in Dunedin. I think I read somewhere that there's 4 spots left at the Seafarer. Calvin confirming that there are 4 spots left at the Seafarer.
Tidy those 4 spots up, guys. The Dunedin crew knows exactly how to put on a fantastic tournament. Worth taking up those spaces and getting involved.
You've got the Topor Classic, which is the first event in the Tour Down Under, and then a Midsummer's Dream in Christchurch on that same weekend. So you've got 3 events there to pick from, to go to or get to see. Nationals in Auckland is the week after. Then Bottle Lake Open, Paradise Plates. Ashburton is the week after that, and then a bit of a break before the Queenstown Classic, Garden City Open, and Armageddon and Montana Flat. Yeah.
Heck of a lineup.
It is heck of a lineup. Let's have a look at the power rankings. Just one change in the ladies division with Michaela Kerr moving up 3 spots from 14th to 11th. Ethan Stout moves up 8 spots to 8th. And Johnny Ferrari moves up 5 spots up to 19th. So well done to them. Ethan's odds that low, Levi says. So actually, this brings me on to another comment that was made during the week, which was that someone would like to know how the rankings work. Now, the rankings and the odds are linked. Okay, so the analytics team do the rankings, and the mathematics behind the rankings is exactly the same sums and calculations that UDisc use for their international power rankings, right? So when you see Eagle Man's number 1 at the moment, he's number 1 because of the way the algorithm works, and the algorithm that I apply to New Zealand disc golf and to New Zealand, or rather, sorry, the analytics team apply to New Zealand disc golf and to New Zealand tournaments is the same algorithm. It's the same sums. And then what the analytics team do then is, and you can go and check this on the UDisc site as well. If you go to the UDisc predictions, what they do is that they will give you a chance to win when you compare against other players. So a percentage chance, and then what you can then do is very easy to convert a percentage chance into odds. Now, something that's worth mentioning is that what you don't get with this equation and with this kind of prediction is you don't get factors which are outside of how well has someone played in the past, right? So, for example, if it's someone's home course and they play there every week, Morgan, you would more likely have a higher chance of winning around the Gardens, and you've shown that to be the case in the past, proven, than you would at another course, right?
Yeah.
And the same might well be true of Ethan this weekend at Smash. But the way in which the maths works is it doesn't take that into account. It doesn't look at that. And the reason really is it's really difficult to quantify. It's very difficult to quantify how much of an impact is somebody's home course going to have on them.
Yeah.
Where someone's position in the past and who they were up against and the positions of those people's in the past against a bunch of other people, you can work all those sums out. If chat is interested, then I might put a little video together which explains the ratings or the rankings in a little bit more detail in terms of how people move and etc. Brian wants to know, can we see the full rankings? Just give me a moment. I'll see what I can do. I haven't updated it on the website for a while. The reason is it takes quite a long time to update it to the website. I should just sort that out. But I can give you a quick preview now, Brian, if you're keen and interested.
You'll have to be quick.
I know it will. Just give me a moment. And,
guys, just while Matt's looking that up, there is only a real small handful of spots left for Garden City Open and Armageddon, both the NZ Elite Series. And then the other registration that's coming up next week, I'm just looking it up right now. January 23rd at 7 p.m. registration's open for everyone to the 29th Helicopter Line NZ Queenstown Classic. One that is sure to sell out like it does every single year. So if you're looking to come down to the dirty south to Queenstown, see me, have some good rounds, then put an alarm in your clock, set it for 6:55 p.m. on the 23rd, and get yourself signed up.
Okay, right. So here is the rankings for MPL. I'll go through FPO in a second. Marie's asked us for a ratings update and bid info. Yes, okay. I will put something together. It won't be immediately, but I'll see what I can do. So here we go. Here's the this is the 21 to 37, and this is the change from Roxburgh. Morgan, you can't see this at the moment, probably, but no real big movers there. Stephen Reed moves 5 places up to 33. Jay Puki moved 20 places up to 38th, and the largest mover was Jaden Menzies this week, who moved 37 places up to 52nd.
Yeah, Menzies playing some great golf at the moment.
Sam Lykin just outside the top 50, 51st at the moment. Morgan, there you are, 42nd.
Did I go down or up?
Oh, no, you stayed the same.
Even with a DNF this weekend,
because your DNF, so DNFs work as if you didn't compete.
Copy that. Do it every week.
Okay, so if you're looking for your name, I'll slowly scroll down. Norman Tudor climbs 18 spots to 62nd from his performance this weekend.
Yeah, he had a good performance this weekend. Actually, that's someone that you might see nearing the top of the table this weekend.
Ben Quinn climbs 17 spots to 73rd. And then friend of the show, Gus van Gisteren climbs 20 spots up to 83rd. There's Adam Rhymes in at 87.
New,
because and what this is to say that when you have to have played a certain number of events in order to qualify for the rankings, right? So although your rankings on here is shown as Adam's shown as new, it's because he's the last event played him enough tournaments to qualify him for the rankings. There we go. Barry Van Beek climbs up 3 places from 94. Brett Carlisle in the top 100. He'll be competing in the skins match against number 1 Levi Stout and Nate Perkins, Corey Ellis, and Julian Corver. And you've got to go pretty far down before. There I am, 131. And we'll keep going down, and it gets to about 230, I think.
Just scrolling back through some of the live chat comments here, Anthony Gilbert, odds makers giving Morgan no respect. It's probably for good reason.
Do you fancy yourself this weekend?
No. Not even. I'm just making up numbers, man. No, you need to practice more than I practice, unfortunately, to sort of be near the tippy top. I'll do my best to try and get up to the middle, though. I'll be realistic.
Okay. So there we go. There is the all the rankings for the men. Let me find the rankings for the ladies very quickly.
It was a wee bit disappointing to actually DNF at the weekend, but it did sort of give me the opportunity to do a lot of background stuff on the Sunday. So took a negative and tried to turn it into a positive.
Hayley Flintoff is the best player in the country right now. Michelle Simpson in second. Victoria Speller. They go Hayley and Victoria go head to head this weekend. And then outside the top 20, there wasn't much movement this weekend, just because there was only a few people playing. But outside the top 20, this is what it's looking like if people want to see where they're ranked. Thank you very much, Brian. It's very kind. It's the data analytics team that do most of the work on this. And there we go. I think that's pretty much the once you see everybody with the same ranking, that means that they're not included in the rankings, if you know what I mean, because they haven't played enough events. So there we are. Yeah, I'll update the website so that it's a little bit more, so it's more updated, and I'll try to keep on top of it as people are obviously looking at it and keen to look at it, and so I'll try and make sure it gets updated.
Just speaking of updating websites, guys, too, if you're interested in seeing where you're placed on the NZ Elite Series leaderboards, they are updated already. Adam did that a couple of days ago, www.eliteseries.co.nz.
Should we have a look, Morgan? I'm sure there are people who are
on the generation side of that page, you can see where you're sitting, especially in the AMS division, in the amateur RPM race for the sponsorship that's available there too.
So here we are. Let's have a quick look at the Elite Series, and then you'll know where this is. Have I missed it? Event standings.
The Elite Series page.
So Sebastian Faulkner is leading the way in MPO by quite some distance, actually. Actually, I don't know whether 30 points is a lot. I'm assuming it is.
It is a little bit, yeah.
Okay, and then Stephen Reed, Jaden Menzies, and Phil Botter, and Ashton Clark, Levi Stout make up the top 5. So a lot of these players going head-to-head this weekend. And also, remember that it's the top 4 events out of the 5 that counts. Yep. So if you've had a bad event so far, or you think, I could have done better there, actually, you might have time to... And certainly, Sebastian Faulkner, Stephen Reed, Jaden Menzies, these will all be players who have played 2 events. So... all of their scores will be counting.
So young Sebastian Felton is leading the way to a potential trip to Thailand.
This is looking like. And then in FPO, Echo Lee is leading the way. I think that's because she's played 2 events. Yeah. And Hayley and Michaela have played 1.
Well, Michaela's played 2, but she started off in FA1 and she's gone over to FPO. So she's going to have points in both divisions.
I see. Okay. Oh, yes, she does. Alison Tweedy's played 2 events in FA1, and so so we'll see her. Is she playing this weekend?
No, she's not. I think she's got a softball final. These young athletes these days, and they're multi. Do everything. Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. And then we'll have a quick look at MA1 because that's got some things on the go. Sam Lykin has got the lead at the moment. Jim Cato and Bruce Van Gisteren and Ben Quinn we spoke about earlier. And Adam Rhymes sat there waiting to pounce.
This weekend, brother. This weekend, you got this.
Excellent. Like Okay, look, it's been a great show. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you everybody for 300 subscribers. We've made it. So we'll put a new goal for next time, and we'll be doing a giveaway on next week's show.
Do we have next week's show loaded up with guests?
We do.
Are we announcing?
We can. Just give me 1 second because I need to just find the exact details. Now, next week, we will have live on the show. We will have Corey Ellis will be joining us. He'll be in New Zealand by then, and that'll be just before the Topor tournament next week, just before he goes up against Brett Carlisle in the skins match. And we'll also be joined by Craig Kitchens, who is he's the founder of IDEO Sports. So we'll be able to talk to him about the syncrasy, the shoes, how they're coming on, and everything else that we wanted to see. So I don't get called ageist by Leon. Let's just have a quick look at MA50.
Let him himself.
Leon is third, quite a way behind Jeff Lewis. Anyway, you can check all of the results of the Elite Series and the latest scores if you go to eliteseries.co.nz/elite series, elite-series. You'll find all of the results that you want. But join us next week for Corey Ellis and Craig Kitchens. Very best of luck to everybody playing at the Southern Smash this weekend. If you like what we're doing, then please consider liking the video, subscribing. It really does help, and it helps you because we've got a giveaway to do next week. We've got to rustle something up, so we'll see what we can find. But yeah, wherever you're playing disc golf, take it easy, play well, get some birdies, and we'll see you